Oh, pop culture pros, don't you dare be sour. Clap for your world famous podcasters and feel the power. It's the Four Quarter Show, yes it is. I am your hostess with the mostest, aka Mr. Swiss Roll, the main event, the showstopper. And as you can see right behind me over here, you see my championship belt, the halftime champion as well. And as always, I'm joined by the number 2 to my Dr. Evil, the Scotty to my Jordan, the Conseco to my McGuire. A line.
That was a pretty good opening today, Melo. And right behind me, I got my llama. I know some of you guys are fans of the llama, so he's always behind me. And how was your weekend, Melo?
It wasn't bad. It was rather interesting, Got back into, our workout groove, me and you, not on this solo trip anymore. So it felt good. How about you?
My weekend went well, except for the fact that I lost another week of the halftime championship. So congratulations to you. And I present you with your coquito.
Oh, where'd you get this from?
This is a special coquito.
Special?
You won't find this coquito anywhere else because this
Palacio
is
de los Jugos?
not there. This is
Sedano's.
the Quattro Coquito right here. Quattro Coquito. Made specifically by me. So you got homemade coquito right here. So there you go.
Ooh,
You enjoy that.
Are we going to have this recipe on the Four Quarters?
Yes, Quattro Coquito will be on the Instagram. And that is not just any coquito, but that's actually Nutella.
Ooh.
That's a Nutella flavored one. So
How'd you know I like
that?
How'd you know I like Nutella?
Because everyone loves Nutella.
I don't know. You'd be surprised. There's a lot of people that don't like it. Oh, this looks like Nutella. It looks like Nutella. Just look at it.
Here's my cup.
Oops.
Let's pour some of that. Let's try it right now. Then you can tell me how it tastes. Ooh, spilling some coquito already.
You can tell I've had enough of it. Oh, and
All right, so for all our other listeners, if you want the recipe and the ingredients for this Quattro Coquito Nutella recipe, it's going to be on our Instagram. And I'll tell you everything I used and how much of it. So, well, let's see if he likes it, because if not,
all right, cheers.
cheers.
Four Quarters.
Cruisy's coming soon so you can purchase. Bro. Oh my God. I don't even know what you're gonna say right now.
I feel like I gotta be honest about it.
This is delicious.
I was honest about whatchamacallit, the Mamey shake that you forced me to drink.
Wow.
I've been pretty honest with sorry there.
It's okay.
A lot of the wine you've brought or that I've asked for. And this coquito, I have to say, tastes really freaking good. Oh my God, it's amazing.
Yeah. Thank you so much. This is my little special coquito. Might go on sale. If anybody wants coquito, DM us. We'll have some special coquito orders ready for you. Now, to get started with the Four Quarter Show, Melo loves my coquito. I ended up winning today. He got some vanilla wafers.
Yo, sir.
There you go.
For the coquito, so you gotta...
For the coquito. Boop. And now let me explain to you how Four Quarters works for all our new listeners and for our previous listeners. Let me get started. Four Quarters is a sports debate show where Melo and myself debate sports for 4 quarters. Each quarter is from 10 to 15 minutes long. And we also have a halftime and an overtime. Halftime, we wager on games, talk about this coming weekend and who will be next week's halftime champion, depending on the results. And then we have overtime where we discuss anything and everything other than sports, movies, books, whatever we want, news, time person of the year like we did last week. So anything can happen, especially if you comment on the comments. We can discuss maybe what you bring up. So that's 4 quarters. Anything else, Melo?
Don't forget about, your halftime champion, of course. You know, anytime, like you said, whoever wins, tune into halftime and you'll see what we pick for this upcoming week. Whoever wins, the other person has to bring a choice of whether it's food, a drink. Might start doing punishments. You know, I'm getting kind of bored of winning all the time. I feel like I need you to do something for me.
All right, we'll see about that. Usually those challenges are for pay-per-view events.
Oh, you're right.
We will see, because we do have a couple of ideas coming. Maybe another title. Maybe a couple of other titles coming up. So we'll see. We'll see. Let's put 12 minutes on the clock. Melo, Giannis, biggest news today. Today on 4 quarters, the day that we have our podcast, Giannis signs the Supermax. For everyone who doesn't know what a Supermax is, that is when a player who got drafted by that team signs with that team, and they're the only team that are able to give them the largest contract other than any of the teams. So he signed the Supermax, which was 5 years, a whole bunch of money a year, some ridiculous amount. What do you think? Are you surprised? Did you expect this?
So his whole entire max contract is worth $228.2 million. That is the highest valued NBA contract right now. And I believe I told you this, just me and you talking. It's hard money to pass up, man. He came from Greece, where he was literally selling trinkets on the street. You know, we didn't have the best. His brothers, I believe, all shared the same basketball shoes. Sometimes had to miss practice to go to work. He grew up hard, in a hard life, and had to grind. So being offered this money, man, I feel like you have to take it. It doesn't matter. I get it. Championships, they'll come and go. But at one point, you have to start thinking about other people. You have to start thinking about your family. He's got brothers. He's just starting his family too, with his, I don't think she's his wife, but his baby mama, his kid. It's a lot. And, at the same time, he wants to get back to his family back in Greece, mom and his other brothers. So I completely understand this. A little disappointed because, you kind of wanted to see him in some, Heat gear. But, hey, I completely understand. It's money that you can't pass up.
Giannis, he did what Shaq does. Shaq says, who's paying me the most? Because that's where I'm going. So I'm never going to disagree with someone who picks all the money and stays with the team. Now, as far as making money, I still feel... anywhere you go, he's gonna make the money. He's the best in the world. But there's nothing better than guaranteed money. And right now, that money's gonna go in his pocket. So, respect to him. Respect to him staying with a team that isn't really much of a that has that culture to go get players for him. And people don't really want to go play in Milwaukee, so that's going to be tough for them. It's going to be interesting to see where they go with Milwaukee and what players they get now. But it does help Milwaukee in the long run, because now that Giannis is signed, they know he's there for the next 5 years, so they can start building around him and not have to worry. But there's no debating here on anything. Just shout out to Giannis for getting that 5-year Supermax and doing something that most players don't do in his position. That's something LeBron ended up leaving Cleveland. Anthony Davis, left the Pelicans. Mind you, he was a little older, but still, usually teams leave these organizations that nobody wants to go play for.
So you said something here that I want to go back to, especially for our longtime 4 quarters listeners.
Shout out Cheese.
See you, Cheese. You said Giannis is the best in the world. I thought best in the world's made it to the NBA Finals. How is he the best in the world then? You might want to explain that to me and the audience that are probably questioning you just as much as I am right now.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely correct. I misquoted myself. I'm glad you corrected. I'm glad you're aware. LeBron is the best player in the world. I guess when I say Giannis is the best player in the world, it's because he's right there. I feel many people are the best players in this league. LeBron is the best player in the world. Giannis is not the best player in the world. So thank you for correcting me.
I'll fix your statement. Kevin Durant is the best player in the world.
But he's not. KD's not the best. KD's going to be in the next.
So going with Gabby, so is he going to refollow all his teammates on IG and Twitter and all this again?
That's a good point. I hope he does. Because at this point, maybe not, because, hey, he does the Harden route and trade me with 4 years left on his contract. Who knows? Who knows these days?
Well, what Cheese is saying, look, that him winning 1 would mean a lot. And I guess it's the same thing as the LeBron James route. Him winning one in Cleveland was a big deal, even though I still find the ones in Miami almost slightly better. Not trying to be biased.
I feel it's different for LeBron though because he's from Cleveland. He's from there. So for him, it was different to win it there. I don't think this is going to mean anything for Giannis. It'll just mean he won a championship. I don't think it's going to be to the LeBron caliber where I brought a championship to my home to where I live. Will it be a big deal? Of course. He's going to be up in those names of players who stay with organizations and won championships. But I don't think it's really that comparable to LeBron's situation.
You just don't like giving anyone else credit. That's name is not LeBron James.
I'm not saying you see. That's where you're misquoting me because I'm going to give Giannis all the credit in the world. I'm just saying it's not as meaningful to Giannis as it is to LeBron. A championship, they're both equally meaningful. I'm just saying in what Cheese is saying. I don't think it's to that caliber where for LeBron it meant that much because he brought a championship to Cleveland where everyone assumes Cleveland is just, where people go to not win and just you go to lose.
I guess.
What does that happen in the league now? Does that mean everything else is open? We have Harden who wants to leave to every other team in the NBA apparently. Do you think that changes what players or what teams want to get him now? That Giannis is going to be unavailable. Does that change things for the Miami Heat since we were trying to get him?
I think it does. I think now it just puts other people in play where you're like, okay, this is what Milwaukee has now. It's enough to compete, be a top 4-3 seed, but besides that, I don't see them beating the Clippers. I don't see them beating the Lakers. I probably don't even see them beating the Nets. So I don't even see them getting out of the East. So now with Harden making himself very clear that he's not happy in Houston.
You don't see who getting out of the East?
The Bucks.
You don't see the Bucks getting out of the East?
No.
With Giannis? Oh, you mean to the Eastern Conference Finals?
Like out of the East, as in to the
make
finals.
It to the okay.
So I really think, man, Harden's got to go somewhere, and Philadelphia looks nice. I don't really think him in Brooklyn would work out, but I've said it last week and I'll say it again. Bring the beard to the 305. Bring him to Miami. I don't care what people say right now. All this, he might know how to play. He's not going to be the culture. Shut up. Open up your arms because the beard here would be amazing. Not only is he going to be killing it at the AAA, he's going to be killing it at KOD, Scarlets, Tootsies, Playmates, BTs on the river. Yes, I know too many of these gentlemen's joints. But I would love Harden here.
Who calls them gentlemen's joints? But good, got it. Gentlemen's joints, ladies and gentlemen, is where Melo is going. I think the Heat should be careful of how much they give away and for depending on who they get. I do not want to trade half of our roster for Beal. I am not opposed to trading a good amount of people for Harden. I think we talked about this earlier, you and I today, where certain situations teams trade all their players or assets to get a star player. I don't hold Beal to that caliber where I will trade my whole roster for him. This is a league of stars, so if you tell me you got buckets and Harden, that dynamic duo, you trade a couple players and some picks, I feel it'll be so important because they can compete with Kyrie and Durant, and I think for sure Harden and Butler will beat the Bucks. I think a lot of teams will beat the Bucks. Cheese here says the Bucks did some great moves. They did do great moves, but I don't see them having a bench. I don't see anything else there. Now they have to redo chemistry, see how this team works. Who knows if they're going to work out? That's why I think he signed the 5-year deal because he wants to give them wiggle room to get players.
You didn't mention Bam Adebayo, which is also another key piece for them. I think that's a good big three: Bam, buckets, and Harden. I think that's going to be an unstoppable force there. And then, like you said, like Gabby here, see, Harden goes where the best strip clubs are at. I just named
strip club. Oh, gentlemen's joints. Remember, it's gentlemen's joints.
Sorry.
That's where Melo goes. He goes to gentlemen's joints.
And look, if you trade for Harden, you're gonna get we can probably even lure like a JJ Redick here.
I love JJ Redick, man. Give me some JJ Redick. He's an amazing sharpshooter. We were talking about him. He would have fit perfect in the Lakers, but I think he's one of those players that you plug in, and I think it's gonna be helpful for Zion on the Pelicans. They still have him. So, what is that? Yeah. Drew looks like a very easy piece to add, so I like that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Holiday's good, but we're making Holiday sound like a superstar. When did Holiday become the answer to winning a championship? I don't understand. People keep talking about Holiday like if he's the next coming of Magic Johnson. Oh, the Bucks got Drew Holiday. You know what that means? They're making him sound like they got Damian Lillard all of a sudden. When did Holiday become Damian Lillard? People are really telling me, hey, they got Drew Holiday. Now they're gonna win a championship. It's crazy. The third piece to who else? Chris Middleton? Chris Middleton is barely an all-star. I don't even know how that guy makes the all-star games. Are people not available to play? They need a scrap that you have to have point guards and everything. Just put straight up ballers. I don't care if a team has straight centers. I don't understand how Chris Middleton keeps making all-star games.
I think he's getting the Anthony Davis treatment just because he played in New Orleans. I don't understand that either. They made it seem like he was this magnificent signing.
He's still an all-star. He's still an all-star, but it doesn't mean he's that superstar caliber player star. A lot of people make all-stars. It doesn't mean that they're a key piece to winning a championship. It's why the Bucks keep failing and not making a championship, because you're stuck with Chris Middleton, because you're stuck with players like that. Giannis needs ballers, not guys like Chris Middleton who show up every 3 games, 2 games, maybe.
And what she said, Bam isn't an all-star in the West, and you're absolutely right, he isn't. But, he is in the East because here, at least on this side, it's a lot easier.
Yeah, so. And I'm pretty sure Giannis would rather have Bam than Chris Middleton. Bam is consistent. Bam will give you 18 to 20 points, 10 rebounds, and he does what he has to do, which is why the Heat made it to the championship with Bam.
It did, and it would have probably been a different series if
This
he's
isn't
healthy.
like crazy. This isn't crazy. Chris Middleton is not the guy. They need to let him go. They wasted money on him.
They did. I mean, but you know what? They aren't the team that wasted the most money. Because let me tell you this right here. I'm gonna just name it off. So we have Giannis is the highest valued NBA contract at $228.2 million. After that, we got Westbrook, then Curry, then AD. 5 is Clay, and number 6 sitting at $180 million is none other than your boy Tobias Harris.
Man, that's another guy that we talked about. He's in that Chris Middleton stratosphere.
Right under him, Chris Middleton, 177.5. He's not worth that money.
How do you let go of Jimmy Butler and sign Tobias Harris? No wonder. That's the last thing. No wonder Jimmy Butler said, I'm out this thing. They signed Tobias Harris, and Jimmy Butler goes, really? Tobias Harris? You think you plug in Tobias Harris and take out Jimmy Butler, he does that for the Heat?
Hell no. We would be like the 7th or 8th. We'd be there fighting with the Wizards to see who's worse in that division.
All right, that's the end of the first quarter. We got the Giannis Supermax contract out of the way. We talked about some James Harden and the beard.
Yeah, which I want to go back to Carlos for a second before he goes. Look at how many they don't leave. None of them left. They got traded. It wasn't that they left. It wasn't like the only person who left was what, Trevor Ariza?
That's a debate for next week. We should definitely talk about that because there are issues with Harden that I did address last week. But I mean that's something for another week because Carlos has a point.
Also that.
But the Heat do have Heat culture. So all right, let's move on to quarter number 2. Set the clock on, and quarter number 2, Melo. Let's talk about your boy. This man has some of the best basketball shoes in the NBA. Kyrie Irving, what's up with him in the media? We dabbled on this last week. He came out and said, technically you and I are part of the media. Mm-hmm. He said we're pawns. He said we are pawns, and he doesn't need to talk to us.
I take this so offensively when, the media gets bashed. And I feel like this past, 2020, everyone out there, I don't care what your views are, the media has taken the biggest beating of this, worse than people getting COVID. I feel like the media has taken the worst beating this year. And it's just not fair because the media now has got it. I'm going into a tangent here, not even talking about sports. The media now has come between people considering Twitter fingers media, or Instagram models, or whatever they are doing on IG media. And that's not media. Media is your reporters, your people who are actually out there, trying to find out what the right news is. Not just reporting whatever's first, actually going through investigating. it's a very touchy subject for me, so I don't want to get too much into it. But and Kyrie's one of them that he he just doesn't want to get asked the tough questions. What his issue is he says something like the whole LeBron James. Well, he didn't say LeBron James. He said the whole player thing, that he trusts KD now more than any other player he's played with. And then when people want to be like, oh, are you talking about LeBron James? He doesn't want to answer those tough questions. And that's what the biggest issue is. He doesn't want to answer the tough questions because, you know what? Unfortunately, Kyrie hasn't done anything without LeBron. He's looked really bad in Boston and last year as well. Hopefully this year he can change it around. And maybe after that, he'll be better. Because Shaq was one of those as well that towards the end of his career, he didn't want to be answering nothing to the media. He was all like, okay, I'll take the fine. And you know what? I'm going to go home. So, I don't know. I know you have a different perspective.
Kyrie, you need to shut up. I'm just kidding. Sorry, I just love that shut up and dribble comment. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Kyrie, dude, listen, I don't think you're a superstar. I don't think you're that great. I think you're an amazing and one player. I think you're a great basketball player, but I might put you up there with that Chris Middleton. I'm just kidding, not Chris Middleton. He's not the number one guy. He's definitely a number two guy. But that's just because what he says why I have my situation with Kyrie. I think he's a number two guy, not a number one guy. The point about Kyrie Irving that's going on right now is he's just so everywhere. He's so trying to prove one point, but then trying to prove another one, and then making himself look wrong by proving one point. And I think he confuses himself because I see where his heart's at. I see what he tries to say, but he doesn't articulate himself correctly. And it's primarily his fault. He needs to. He has people for this. He needs to tell him what to say, but he just goes out with his heart, and I feel he wears his heart on his sleeve, and he just goes with it. He clarified recently. He said he wasn't referring to the media as pawns. He was just referring to wanting to protect his voice and his platform. He doesn't want us to flip around what he says. But Kyrie, you are saying these things where it's blatantly and easy to see what you're trying to say. We're not making these things up. You are saying these things, and even someone like me, who I'm not some 30-year Skip Bayless journalist, can read into what you're saying. I understand what you're trying to say, and it kind of, dude, makes no sense because now you're out here saying that you just want to put out your word and you don't want any distractions and you just want to put your team first. This isn't a distraction. If you would have said that from the beginning, that would have been golden. If you would have said, look, I really don't want to speak to the media today. I kind of wish I just want to put my team first. That would have been a completely different narrative. We're like, okay, we'll see where his head's at. But you come out with trying to be Drake or trying to be all these things, giving us just some curves and writing whatever you want to write. It's so confusing. And Drake might not be a good example, but I don't understand what he's trying to do.
Drake was definitely not a good example.
It's the coquito, bro.
But I get what you're saying. Kyrie, man, I don't know if maybe he's just not elaborating on what it is because
Está frustrado. He's frustrated. My man's frustrated.
Then we have he thinks the world is flat.
He corrected himself too recently.
But I'm saying then you said he corrected. So it's all about elaborating yourself, Kyrie.
But even then, I knew what he was trying to say. He was trying to do the whole Kanye West thing where he doesn't want to be told to believe something, And I totally understand that. Kanye has that mentality where he doesn't want to be a Democrat because they're telling him to be a Democrat. And as us, minorities, they tell us, oh, we should be Democrats depend on the government to depend on the government to help us. And he feels, why should that be my only mentality? Like, he wants to think both ways. And I respect that about Kanye, being open-minded. And I think that's what Kyrie tries to do, but he does it in the most outlandish way possible by saying the earth is flat. Dude, that is science. Like, that's not even Kanye West does it the way Kanye West tried to do it made sense, Democrats, Republican. It just happens to be that politics is so controversial that it was bigger. The thing with Kyrie is that he's proving a point with something dumb. So, besides that, let's move on to the actual star of that team. But unfortunately, he's not going to be the star because Kyrie's going to want to be the number one guy.
He's not going to want to.
What are the expectations on KD? Coming back from his Achilles injury, for those who don't know, Kevin Durant hasn't played for like almost a year and a half now.
I think it's at 500-something days.
Yes, and at the time, he was arguably the best player in the planet when he got hurt. So we finally have that star caliber player back, but in a new team, no longer in the Warriors. What are your expectations? Should they be high? Is it championship or bust? What's going on?
I absolutely think it's at least getting to the finals or bust. If you don't get there, you got to do something. You're gonna get rid of what is it? Dinwiddie, somebody. You got to get rid of somebody.
Oh, we're blaming Dinwiddie. Let's go with Dinwiddie. Trade Kyrie for Harden now. I don't understand what they're waiting for.
No
Go ahead.
way, you can't do that.
I would. I don't give up.
See, this is why I don't think they're
give
gonna.
up.
This
I
is
don't
why
care.
I don't think they're gonna have an issue. They are best friends. It's not like
So were Harden and Westbrook.
Nah, I don't think
They were best friends. They grew up together. They played AAU ball. They knew each other since they were 10 or 12. All of a sudden now they don't want to be in the same team anymore.
That's like saying that Melo and LeBron James are best friends. Maybe they know better. Melo and LeBron knew, hey, you know what?
They're not. Kyrie wants to be the guy. He's gonna want. That's why he said it's about time I have a guy who could take the last shot like me. So you're gonna be the one to control. You're the one controlling the narrative. It's gonna be your shot, and just in case, I'll give it to KD. No. KD.
No.
KD is the one who's gonna handle the ball.
He with his statement, it was very clear that he is okay deferring to Kevin Durant.
But the fact that he says it's
Boston,
okay. What do you mean it's okay? You're different. It's KD's team. KD runs the ball, and it's okay that KD wants to give you the ball. Not it's okay. I'll defer. What do you mean you'll defer?
Yeah, because in Boston it was all him. It was all
him.
Boston.
They played better without Kyrie Irving.
Okay, but when he was out there, it was almost like this Odell Beckham situation where everything was so centered around Kyrie. With this, he doesn't have to worry about that.
Kyrie doesn't know how to play with teammates.
KD is gonna be there, and he's gonna take off so much.
Kyrie, you know what it is? You know what? Here's where it stems from. Kyrie cannot be the number one guy. That's his problem. That's the issue, and I think I didn't articulate in the beginning.
I will.
That
give
was my Kyrie moment right there. I should have said from the beginning. Kyrie is not a number one guy. If he accepts the number two role and KD is the guy and KD comes back, I will say right now they'll make it to the championship. They might even compete with the Heat. It's gonna be tough because we do have Bam, and I don't know who's gonna stop Bam because KD won't be able to handle him. So it'll be interesting. But Kyrie cannot be the guy, and if he puts down KD, it's gonna be a problem.
The Nets have a gentleman that's 7 feet tall called Jared Allen, I believe. He can stop Bam, unfortunately.
That's a good point. I forgot about him. Hopefully they don't trade him. Moving on to one of my favorite topics right now. Is LaMelo Ball already a better basketball player than Lonzo Ball after one preseason game?
That's what we're called, LaMelo. Is that me and you?
That's true. That's a good point. But tell me, is LaMelo Ball already a better basketball player than Lonzo?
So
the answer is yes. I want to do this one. I'm going to take this one because the answer is yes. LaMelo is already a better basketball player than Lonzo. He has what Lonzo has lacked since the beginning of his NBA career, and that's confidence. He doesn't have the confidence LaMelo does, and I'm going to attribute that to Lonzo helping LaMelo handle these situations, probably guiding him, giving him advice, and also showing him, hey, don't listen to dad. You know, Lonzo went through the ups and downs of having LaVar and having LaVar say all these things. But look at what LaMelo's been through. His dad said, hey, we're getting out of high school, taking you to Lithuania, put you in the Lithuanian league, take you out of there, put you in this bullshit league for the Triple B league. It didn't do anything. And then we're going to put you in Australia. This kid has gone to all these different leagues all around the world, you know, and played well in each and every one of them. Now, the triple basketball league was a joke, but still, he put up numbers and he played well. And in Australia, granted, it was for like a week or two, or what he played, a couple games, but he played well too. He brings the confidence that Lonzo lacks, and after one preseason game, he looks like a stud out there.
I will say he did surprise me a lot in that one preseason game. It's exactly what you said. He looks like he's reeking this confidence of, you know what, I'm going to go out there, ball, and if you don't like me, so be it. I'm still going to go out there and I'm still going to ball it up. And that's what he did. I mean, I think they lost, but it's still preseason. They're still getting their legs together, but just the way he passes, it looks so much smoother. His shot looks so much smoother, and I think I have to attribute it to him, distancing himself from his dad, not so much what is it, Lonzo, but I want to attribute it more to him going overseas and basically making himself his own, not following, okay, you know, I got to be like my brother. No, he went and he said, I'm going to take a different route, and look at that. I didn't think him doing that was going to get him to the NBA, and it got him drafted 3rd overall. That's huge.
No,
I think he grinded, made himself better throughout all this, and I want to attribute it to him. I'm going to give him the credit.
He's been a YouTube star for many years, shooting his 3-pointers, scoring. Didn't he score 70 or 90 points in a game once? Something ridiculous like that. You know, so he's been doing crazy stuff like that, taking these shots. But that growth spurt, I think that definitely gave him some confidence. Man, that he's a tall kid now. I think
he's the tallest ball, right?
Probably, honestly. But real quick, what about your boy Jello? What happened? He got dropped by the Pistons. Real quick, tell me what's going on with Jello.
Man, poor Jello doesn't catch a break. I feel you, man. You don't catch a break.
Man, Jello, Jello, we love you.
Jello's one that should have, man. That's why I'm saying LaMelo was able to take the good and bad from both of his brother's experiences. He saw, you know, Dad wanted to take him out of UCLA. Oh no, I'm not gonna let Dad do that to me. I'm gonna go and do what I want to do.
Jello just made a mistake. You know what? Here's the problem with Jello. His dad didn't worry about him too much. He was worried about the older one and then the little one who had the best shot. And then Jello was just like, wasn't big. Jello, you know what? I think Jello stealing those glasses was a cry for help. He needed attention. He needed some more love. That's what it was. But Jello, man, we no jokes aside, 4 Quarters show is rooting for you, man.
Yeah,
we really hope you make a team. We hope you can, because I think we've all been there where we fail, and we just want to keep pushing, succeeding. And this is just going to push you to be better. So,
absolutely, never give up the grind.
All right, so that's the end of quarter number 2. Let's move on to Melo, and we're talking about this Melo over here, not any of these ball Melos.
First off, that's LaMelo. There's only one other Melo, and that's Carmelo Anthony.
I think it's...
He's LaMelo. I need people to get that right. It's LaMelo. It's not Melo.
All right.
There's only one Melo in the NBA right now.
Move on to halftime, where we have our current halftime champion in Melo. For all of you guys who tune in or new viewers, halftime, this is the point where me and Melo talk about games that we're going to bet on this week to see who takes the halftime championship home next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, the NBA begins also. So we'll see if we go on live at this time. I don't know what you guys think. Let us know. But if not, we will bring a special NBA edition. Maybe. Who knows? But yes, let's talk about Melo's the current halftime champion.
Let's just talk about how great these championship belts look behind me. And for all you guys out there, you know, I know you really can't see it, but over here, there's a Flanagan's koozie I got there. Look at that. Even supporting local. You know, and of course our own koozies, you know. But it feels good to be the champion again. Like I said, I feel like we might have to start adding punishments to this because I'm starting to run out of things to get you to bring me. And, you know, I feel like, you know, I don't want to do that to you anymore. I feel like every time you go to Publix, you know, they see like, oh, what is he getting this week? Oh, he's getting wine.
What, are you eating your cereal like Coquito, bro? What is it, cereal and milk, dude?
It's like, you know, bro? It's like when you go to a Cuban, like Latin America, and you order tostada with a café con leche, and you dip your tostada in it. So all right, I put my thing in there.
For all you guys watching, oh, look, I got the more Coquito in here.
All right, well, with that, we have a couple games. We looked through a lot of these NFL games, and there weren't a lot of them that looked very appealing. So, for the first time ever in 4 Quarters history.
You sure?
Yeah, I don't think... I'm lying. We've done college.
Yeah, what are you talking about? We've done a couple of times. Hey, are you...
What'd you put in this Coquito?
Coconut Bacardi rum. Well, you'll see it. 4 Quarters. Check out... Look at me doing 4 quarters. 4 Quarters. Our Instagram. We will post up the ingredients and recipe this week for halftime, as my co-host was saying for the first time. Not the first time.
I forgot for Thanksgiving that we did that one college game.
Bama versus Florida, who just lost. Losers. Le Hoosers. And Melo's picking Bama. We have Clemson versus Notre Dame. I picked Clemson.
Wow, you didn't go for the Catholics? Wow, bro, that Fighting Irish.
Nope.
Look, you're a big LeBron James fan. He's a Fighting Irish.
Let's not talk about LeBron. He's a Cleveland Brown fan this week. He's a Cowboy fan the other day.
Why was
He's
that
a
not
Yankee
in
fan
there?
in baseball? Listen, you see, I say how it is. As much as I love LeBron. He's a little crazy when it comes to teams. He's like Drake. He just every time you don't even know what team he's rooting for. Let's see. We have Dallas versus San Francisco. Melo picked San Francisco. Shout out to the Niners. I thought you were gonna pick Dallas. That was surprising. Not.
I said it. I would never pick the Dallas
And
Cowboys.
then we
And
have
that's
New
still
England
alive.
Patriots, who are kind of struggling with Cam Newton. You think they're going to do a quarterback change, or they're going to keep Cam?
They got to go Cam.
So they're playing against the 305 Miami. Almost beat the best team in football. Almost. But it doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. We lost. But I am taking Miami against New England. We have the Chicago Bears versus the Minnesota Vikings.
I feel like the Bears and the Vikings I need one of our fans, if they want to go back and look at all the halftime games that we've gone through. And I believe, if you don't count Miami or the Giants, the Bears and the Vikings are in every single halftime.
Pretty much. They're just a confusing team because at the beginning of the season, they were so good that we had them against good teams. And now they're at that point where they're kind of like 50-50, like the Vikings. This is a perfect matchup. And Melo picked the Vikings. Of course, I got the Bears. And next interesting game we have is the Kansas City Chiefs, who may have to change their name. We haven't brought that up. But now we're going to talk about it later. But the Kansas City Chiefs versus the New Orleans Saints. Melo picked the New Orleans Saints. I picked the Chiefs.
I was going to say, Melo did not pick no damn New
And last but not least, we have Cleveland versus the New York Giants.
First, actually thinking about it, that game probably shouldn't be up there.
You put it up there.
I know, but I just thought about it.
thought about
the
it, too.
Saints just lost to the Eagles.
I know. It's already up there. You wrote it. It's boom. We're not changing it. It's in. Kansas City Chiefs versus the New Orleans Saints. Those are the games. Melo picked the Giants as usual. That
The
is not the
conspiracy
end
is happening.
of halftime. Tell me, what do you want if you win?
The conspiracy is happening. Everyone out there, you see it happening live. How about you go
What
first?
conspiracy? You picked it. And you picked New Orleans. No, you
technically-
didn't. I
no,
picked
I
the
didn't.
Chiefs. But you picked the team. You picked the game. And I even said, dude, that's an interesting game.
Mm-hmm.
I did say that. What do you want? What do you want if you win?
When I win, I'm going to let you go first. Because I'm trying to think about this. Are you going to keep your fit vine with the...
No.
Ooh,
No.
changing
no.
it up.
I want some hot chocolate and some Christmas cookies.
All right.
I want
Describe
Christmas
Christmas
and
cookies. 'cause
Christmas. How do you not
There's a lot of different type of Christmas cookies.
surprise me? Christmas cookies, and it just surprised me. It gotta taste good.
Do you want me to bring you the sewing kit too?
Those aren't Christmas cookies.
Those are Christmas cookies.
You better not bring me the sewing kit cookies.
Everyone, those are Christmas. Anyone watching, if you know what the sewing kit cookies are those Christmas cookies or not? Because they're Christmas cookies.
Shout out to Kenny, Miami Miracle version 2. I just saw that the other day, man. We're an amazing game. All right, so what do you want, dude? I told you.
So, being that it's the 22nd or before that, or maybe we'll do the 23rd. We're still debating. You will find out first. It's right before Christmas, so I feel like gotta get in like a little bit of holiday cheer, even though we did coquito this week. So should we do? Yeah, let's do it. The real Christmas drink. I want eggnog. Next.
I was gonna say eggnog, but eggnog is so close to like coquito. It's kind of the same thing.
It's almost the same thing, except that's the real Christmas drink. This is like some Hispanic made up one.
Eggnog is coquito. Like, guys, Google this. Whoever's watching, eggnog and coquito are one and the same, are they not?
No, that's like saying that caramel's like dulce de leche.
All right, well, in that case, I don't want hot chocolate. Eggnog, then.
They are.
There you go, Abuela's cookies.
What does that even mean?
You know what it means.
They're not Abuela's cookies. Abuela didn't make those cookies.
Abuela's cookies. So
she went to
with that
Sedano's and
being
bought herself
said,
a big tin can of
we both are gonna probably bring eggnog. Whoever wins has to bring eggnog. Whoever loses has to bring eggnog. But I want mine with Christmas cookies.
Okay, so then I want my eggnog with
Cheese, because that's what you wanted today with the coquito. This man literally, in Miami terms, literally says, "Hey, should we get cheese with the coquito?" So what do you want? What do you want? You want soy and cake cookies? Abuela's cookies?
I don't want Abuela's cookies. You know what? I'm gonna make you work for this one too. I want eggnog, and on my side, I want myself some hot. I don't want myself some grocery store ones. I want myself some hot and fresh, Krispy Kreme donuts.
Oh, that's gonna be a tough one.
I don't want the little Publix ones you got to put in the microwave. Those won't count. I want hot and fresh.
Well, I don't know if they're gonna be hot and fresh. The drive over there is gonna be insane in the drive back. But I'll try my best for them to be hot and fresh, and I gotta put them in the oven. You really are a man. Okay.
Really, and what?
All right, Krispy Kreme donuts.
Oh,
All right.
You mean because
It's far.
it's not that far. Hialeah is right there, man.
All right, moving on. That's the end of halftime. Melo, congratulations. I hope you're enjoying my Quattro Coquito with Nutella. Brought to you by the Four Quarter Show with the koozies.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, let's put 12 minutes on the clock.
Tree.
Next, we have Lamar Jackson. Him and the Baltimore Ravens beat the Cleveland Browns last night. Tell me. Is Lamar Jackson the real deal, or is he impasta?
So, when we say the real deal, what are we saying? Like MVP or just good quarterback?
When I ask that question, I mean, is this championship? Is this Aaron Rodgers? Is this someone who's gonna, be the reason why you win a championship type of greatness? When I mean real deal, is this the answer?
Yes.
Greatness.
He'll be the reason. He's not an imposter. He won't get carried. He's not going to be a Trent Dilfer for that team. He'll be the reason they win. Do I think he's the MVP we saw last season? Not too much. But I do think he's good. He's a legit quarterback. He can only get better from here.
Well, funny thing, Melo, is I want to say I was on the bandwagon of he was an impasta. But he's young. He's coming from behind in some of these games. The Ravens, you can say, aren't as good as last year. And he's putting up numbers, and he's playing well. Maybe not as good as last year because it wasn't MVP season. But, man, he's doing some amazing Michael Vick ×3 type of plays, He has an arm like Vic. He runs like Vic, but I feel he has better pocket awareness, or he's a better quarterback than Michael Vick overall.
Okay, that's
maybe not a better runner.
I was gonna say Michael Vick did what?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, imagine if Vic was a better quarterback, and he had those wheels.
I think he'd
be unstoppable
if Michael Vick was more durable.
Sure, durable, but even then he wasn't a good as quarterback as Lamar Jackson. But I think he's the real deal. He's still young. So there was a point where I thought he was kind of like Kirk Cousins, or how they call him in Undisputed. That's the show with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. They call him Third Cousins. I love that nickname. Third Cousins. I thought he had the Third Cousins type of game where he'll win these games for you, but then when it comes to a playoff game, or a big time game, it won't happen. But I think if he keeps going to the playoffs, he's gonna get it.
I mean, hopefully, he's 0-2, right? I mean, that's what everyone said. Maybe you know who Lamar.
He's young. That's the thing. I think he's still young.
You know who Lamar Jackson could technically be? Phillip Rivers.
That's so happy you said that. Because that's exactly what I was thinking today when I wrote this one down. Was it reminds me of Phillip Rivers, who was just constantly great, and some will say that Philip Rivers is the real deal. So if we're holding the standard on that Philip Rivers or type of quarterback level, then yeah, he's the real deal.
Philip Rivers is the real deal.
I'm
real
asking,
deal,
do you think he's the real deal? Do you think Philip Rivers
not.
in his
I think
career?
he's a okay he's a good quarterback. He's got his little records because of how many games he's played. But is he the guy to put you over that hump? Nope. And that might be where Lamar Jackson is. He's just not going to be the player where he'll get you, he'll leave you in the game, but he might not be the one to seal it out. And I mean, he's 0-2 in the playoffs, so no. He's not going up against the Patriots, Tom Brady's Patriots, like Philip Rivers was.
I agree. Well,
He's going up against my homie.
Shout out to Daphne saying that I'm going to win this week, so I don't got to worry about the donuts. Thank you. Appreciate that.
He's been saying that for what, the last 3 weeks now?
Wow, bro. You got on one winning streak and look at you. But with that being said about Lamar Jackson, there was an unfortunate incident yesterday that we had to discuss. Hopefully we won't discuss about it too long. What's up with this cramp situation that happened yesterday?
You mean when he was running to the bathroom?
Yeah, he was cramping.
He was crapping. Oh, yeah, crapping. That's what happened. He was crapping,
Sorry, folks. We had to bring this up.
He had a little, a prairie dog moment, right? That's what was happening?
Look.
If you guys have not seen the video, go look up Lamar Jackson.
that's what it is. It's the video. It's the video. It's the video that's very. I wanted to argue that it was cramping, but then the issue is it was cold outside. Usually you cramp when it's really hot because you're sweating and you're dehydrating water. Even though when it's cold, your body actually works harder because it's cold. But usually you don't cramp when it's cold. So when I saw the video of him running to the bathroom, we've all been in that situation. So
we've all, like I said, anyone that has not seen the video, go look at Lamar Jackson running to the locker room.
Just check your Instagram feed. I'm pretty sure there's 1,000 memes, honestly.
And everyone has done that run of at one point when I saw it I think was from like a smaller video. It actually looked like he was holding his hand behind on his buttocks, like he was trying to hold something in. And then when I saw it again, you could tell that he was like there. And then when the person came out of the locker room, he was like, "Get out of the way!" Like he was in a hurry to get back there. So come on, just say it. It happens. It's natural.
Shout out to Paul Pierce. He said the same thing. Paul Pierce is like, man, I had to go. But I'm happy Lamar didn't come out in a wheelchair because that would have been something else. Next topic, moving on from one quarterback to another great quarterback in the league. Should I say great? Is it too early? I think we've had this
We asked if he was
real deal question about this man. The Buffalo Bills starting quarterback Josh Allen, which, let me say something to this. Colin Cowherd, he works for Fox News. He has his own show, The Herd. He has them as the best team in the league right now. His top 10 teams, he put the Bills, because he does the top 10 every Tuesday, and he always does it by what they are today, like that day, not overall, just that day. And he thinks the Bills are the best team in the league. With that being said, what do you think of Josh Allen as a quarterback in the Bills? But most importantly, did you watch his pep talk? And now he told the guys, we'll leave the dancing to them. Because Juju, ladies and gentlemen, Juju Smith, he was doing this dance in the middle of the Bills stadium, just doing his little thing, just dancing up on them.
On the logo.
And then Josh Allen, before the game, just got his team together and said, we'll leave the dancing to them. And just, break. And then they went out there and beat the brakes off of the Steelers.
Man, I think I gotta find out about the Steelers. They look like imposters right now. But with Josh Allen, what he's doing right now with this team, he's doing what only one other quarterback with this team did, and that was Jim Kelly. And he's putting up very similar numbers to him. So I like it. Although I think I might have handled that situation a little bit more differently. It's like what I told you a couple weeks ago and I think they did it one of these past weekend too, when the Chiefs are there like celebrating and dancing and basically like disrespecting the other team. I would have done something myself, whether it was, hey, I'll take a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty and show them to shut up or stop dancing and play the game. So obviously Josh Allen took the higher route, the higher road. And much respect, he went out there and he balled. He balled, and he is putting his team in a position to win. I don't know if they're the best team. I still think Kansas City is, but they are beating legit teams. They're not beating the Miami Dolphins every week or the Jets every week, even though they are in their division. They are beating.
Did you say the Miami Dolphins and the Jets in the same sentence? We're a good team. You mean they're not playing the Giants or the Jets every week?
The Miami Dolphins.
They're not playing you could have said the Patriots. You could have the Patriots and the Jets, but you do a slight diss of the Miami Dolphins, who currently have a better record than your New York Giants and a better quarterback for that matter. So the fact that you say they're not being the Miami Dolphins is kind of like dumb. You sound like Kyrie Irving right now.
It's not. You guys play the defeated team twice a year. If the Giants played the defeated team,
the Giants play 3 of the shittiest teams in the league twice a year.
Now they're
twice a year. You play 3 of the shittiest teams. I'm sorry. Which team in your division has a winning record? Wow. I'll wait for it. None. Because
that is because the teams that they are playing are tough teams.
You argue the dumbest things, because the Giants
we beat the Seattle Seahawks,
the Giants, the Cowboys, the Washington football team, and the Eagles all stink.
Last I checked, we beat the Seattle Seahawks.
I've never seen
the Dolphins could not
let this sink in. You are in a division where there's a quarterback controversy in every single team. There is a quarterback controversy in every single team. I've never seen that before. It's crazy how much, but whatever.
There's no quarterback controversy.
We're going to talk about that next. That's core number 4. Let's talk about
in New York.
I didn't even get to talk about Josh Allen. I thought what he did was dope as hell. That was the bad man in him. I loved every minute of that. He told his team to leave them dancing, made them look ridiculous, and just beat the brakes off them. I think the Bills showed a lot of what the Steelers are lacking. They need a couple more things. They're depending on Ben Roethlisberger too much, and I think he's at the point of his career where I don't think he can do some of the things to win ball games as like Tom Brady is probably in that same boat right now where they're not young and youthful. You can't just depend on them to win. You got to give them pieces. There's definitely a Peyton Manning situation where the Broncos had an amazing defense, had everything around them. Big Ben, Tom Brady need these things, and the Bills just showed that the Steelers are not a complete team.
What's hurting them a lot is Big Ben is used to having a running game.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have that this year. He does not have this season, and that's a big piece for aging quarterbacks. You need to have a good run game, because if you don't, they're not going to worry about who's back there with you. They'll be like, who's back there? Deion Lewis? Yeah, don't worry about it. He's not going to do anything. If anything, he's going to come out and be a receiver.
Well, to finish the quarter off, I heard of an interesting theory today that made me laugh. The New England Patriots theory says that they will play the Jets and bench Cam Newton so that the Jets can win the game and the Jaguars end up with Trevor Lawrence, because they say the Patriots do not want to face Trevor Lawrence for the next couple years. They don't want to deal with that. Bill Belichick's here for the long run, and he says, nope, I am not going to win that game. Let the Jets do this. I'm going to give the Jets their first win of the season. Do you think that is do you think that could be remotely true, or is that just too that? No, that can't happen.
I mean, it's the New England Patriots. Things that you think wouldn't happen with them. So, can you really think that this isn't in Belichick's mind? I think it could be. I think it might be.
I love it.
Why not? My only thing is what I told you instead, and I said, maybe not. You won't know what? Maybe that plays into what I think, and that is here. I'll take off the banner while I spew my conspiracy theory out here. If they do lose to the Jets, look, the Jets look like they lost to the Raiders on purpose, so New England could do it. If they lose to them and somehow the Jacksonville gets that first seed, trade with Jackson. If you're the Patriots, trade with Jacksonville. Take that pressure off of you. You draft Trevor Lawrence, and then the Jacksonville Jaguars are still going to have a top 10 pick. I don't see why you don't do that. I thought they could have done that with the Jets, but now thinking about it, why would they want to do that with someone in their own division? Go ahead and do it with Jacksonville.
All right, everybody. You heard it here first on the Patriots theory. Well, you didn't hear it first. It's probably been, because I saw it online. So, but whatever. We're talking nonsense today since Melo. This is the first time we bet on NCAA games. All right, moving on to the last and final quarter. Put your fours up, everyone. It's the fourth quarter in the fourth quarter show with Melo and Align. Starting the 12th quarter right now. NFC least. The worst division in football this year. Let me clear that up because he always argues that. The worst division in football this year. They do not have a winning team. They are terrible. Let's start off with the Eagles, who just made an adjustment, and I hope they continue because it scares my co-host that Jalen Hurts is the new starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. What do you think about that win? Do you think the Eagles won it, or do you think that the Saints just had no idea what to expect from Jalen Hurts, so they didn't know how to play him?
First off, I think it's blasphemous for you to say that they're the worst division because, if anything, they're the most competitive division.
Name a worst division.
Honestly, the NFC North is looking pretty lousy right now. It's only the Packers and everyone else.
I said name a worst, not pretty lousy. What's the worst division in football?
Pretty lousy.
Which is the worst division in football?
I don't know. We can go ahead and say that the division with the defeated team is pretty bad and can possibly be compared to another division that it's all competitive, that you never know who's going to win. Everyone's in the hunt.
They're the worst division in football. There's going to be a playoff team without a winning record. That it's always sad and pathetic. True. That is always sad and pathetic.
That's not true. If Washington wins out, they're 9-7.
If they win out, they make the playoffs, and the Giants are losers. So thank you for speaking that to existence.
We're not losers.
Please cut that up. Please cut that up, because that's going to be my new favorite GIF or video that I'm going to be watching 24/7. The fact that this man just said that the Washington football team is going to go 9-7.
I said they could go 9-7.
And you know what? We're wasting time.
No. They could go 9-7.
Can we stick to the question at hand? Jalen Hurts, new starter. Should they keep him? Should Wentz be on the bench? What's going on?
Is that a Christmas thing? Wentz on the bench?
It is. It is this year because he's not going to be playing.
I honestly, it's just so much money they're leaving there with Wentz that, if anything, I hope Jalen Hurts plays amazing and they do a Kevin Cobb. No, I mean, I'm lying. I don't hope that because I'm a Giants fan. But if I'm thinking Eagles fan perspective, do what you did with Kevin Cobb. He went out there, he balled for your 2 or 3 games, and then you shipped him off to Arizona. Do the same thing with Hurts. Get yourself a good draft pick from the Jaguars or somewhere else, and hope that it's someone else's problem. He didn't look bad against the Saints, but I mean, when your other quarterback is the league leading. I said leading giveaway player. Hey, he can go ahead and sit down for the rest of the season.
Well, Melo, I think Jalen Hurts should be given a chance for a couple more games to let Wentz on the bench.
I let him finish the season.
I don't know about finishing the season. I'll play it by ear. I'll see how Jalen Hurts is doing, and then I'll put Wentz in because maybe this fire is building in Wentz, and he'll hopefully play better. We've seen him be talented. We've seen him play well.
But for what? They don't get right now. The way the standings look, they are 4-8-1.
The way the standing looks, anybody can make the playoffs. The Cowboys can make the playoffs if they continue winning ball games.
They're not going to make
That's
the
way, guys. Okay, for people who don't know what's going on in football, the NFC East is the worst team in the league. Any one of those teams can make the playoffs. Any one of them. The Cowboys are still in contention.
That's only the Redskins, the football team, and the Giants.
The Cowboys are excuses, which leads to my next question. Is Daniel Jones the starting quarterback for the New York Giants? Is Daniel Jones, should he continue being the starter? Is he the future?
I mean, I think
you can
Google all these answers and it's yes.
Let me bring up one interesting stat, right? The last time Daniel Jones threw a touchdown was November 8th was the last time he threw a touchdown.
In between that, I know there was a bye week. There was a week he was hurt.
In between that, there was a game against the Eagles where he didn't throw a touchdown. There was a game against Cincinnati where he didn't throw a touchdown. There's a game against Arizona where he didn't throw a touchdown.
So, out of all those games you just named, how many of them did he win?
He is a starting quarterback in the NFL.
How many of them did he win?
How is he not?
How many of them did he win? Because the last I checked, it was just one that he didn't. So, if that team doesn't have to throw a touchdown,
he beat the Bengals. Wow, and he beat the Eagles, who didn't have Wentz. I can't wait till they play with Jalen Hurts and see how pathetic they look. I can't wait to see that. But honestly, honestly speaking, you think he is the answer for your organization, or are you just gonna spit here and spew all this nonsense? Like, be honest. Be unbiased. Come on.
I am the most unbiased.
That is not true. Because you're not. Because if this was me, I would say Daniel Jones is garbage. He's the quarterback for my team, and he's not the answer. He needs to be benched.
But that's you being biased.
That's me being honest.
It's not being honest because
absolutely.
You want to know why it's not being honest? And I'm gonna let everyone out there know a little story. He brought the same argument up to someone else, and guess what they said? Wow. You're supposed to be a sports podcaster? You should think about something else. Because he was wrong, and he's wrong about this. This is Daniel Jones' second year in the league. Again,
you're talking about someone you're talking about an attorney who does not watch sports. He doesn't know anything about Daniel Jones, and the only name he heard me say was Colt McCoy.
No, yeah, that when you start to arguing with Colt McCoy, there's a problem.
Well, if anything, that Colt McCoy has a win, according to you. Oh, how many wins does Colt McCoy have this season? He's an undefeated giant.
And Daniel Jones has 3. Or I'm sorry, 4. Right? So
I believe Colt McCoy has as many touches as Daniel Jones the past month.
Daniel Jones has rushing touchdowns.
But how pathetic is that? That's the most you have.
It's not pathetic.
So you think
so when Lamar Jackson gets rushing touchdowns, it's such a big deal.
Lamar Jackson throws for 300 yards and he's an MVP. You really want to compare Lamar Jackson? Lamar Jackson leads his teams to playoffs. Daniel Jones will be a backup in 4 years. Daniel Jones will be a backup in 9 months.
You know, it's funny.
Write that down. 9 months.
I saw a
Daniel
lot
Jones
of people
will be a backup.
A lot of people say the same thing about a quarterback in New York that used to wear number 10. And what did he go do? He won 2 Super Bowls.
Eli Manning was actually good. He was supposed to be there. Nobody said that about Eli Manning.
A lot of people said that about Eli.
That's totally different. Different situation.
Eli's not Peyton Manning. He can't get the job done. When he comes to the playoffs, he just chokes. And what he
But at least he makes it to the playoffs. Daniel Jones won't make it to the playoffs. Let me change that because any team can make it to the playoffs. God forbid. You see, let me be careful because Colt McCoy might lead this team to the playoffs, and then Daniel Jones makes it, and then he says some nonsense.
Right. I know Eli Manning is good, but if you would have spoken to this man for the past decade about Eli Manning, it's the same thing that I'm hearing about Daniel Jones.
Up the past? Why do you keep bringing up all these things? If anything I say, Eli Manning. I always said Eli Manning is clutch as hell. Eli Manning's that guy who might not lead you, might not be the reason why you make it to the playoffs. But man, if you're in the playoffs, Eli's gonna win you that game. Eli's gonna do what he can do. Like, that's the truth about Eli. He's not the greatest like seasoned quarterback, but when he makes it to the finals, when he makes it to the playoffs, Eli Manning does work, and I give him props for that. But that's the thing with Eli. That's why it's confusing. Is he a Hall of Famer? Is he not? His stats don't show it. His has 2 rings.
Show it. Eli Manning's a top 10. His top 10 touchdowns, yardage.
How many
starts of all time?
What's his wins and losses?
Brett Favre has the most interceptions of all time.
What's Brett Favre's win-loss record?
It doesn't matter. He has more Super Bowls than Brett Favre.
How can you say that doesn't matter?
He has 2 Super Bowls that Brett Favre's won.
How can a win-loss not matter?
Because it doesn't. Because you could be on lousy teams.
He's one of the. He's what?
I said you could be on lousy teams.
And I've seen quarterbacks who are on lousy teams and still do amazing because that's what a great quarterback does.
And
that's what quarterbacks do.
You're
that's
right.
What quarterbacks
Which
do.
is why Eli Manning won 2 Super Bowls. How many did Brett Favre win again?
How many
did Marino win again?
Into the Hall of Fame because of his last name.
That is not why he gets into the Hall of Fame. That's ridiculous.
Now moving on to
that's ridiculous.
Should the Cowboys sign Dak? There's the Cowboys are playing better after the second half of the season. They do seem to be picking it up. They did have a big win recently.
What's better? A 1 game?
I think they've won 2 games after this.
So that means that they've won as many games as they won in the first half, because they're 4-8.
So
exactly.
And what are the Giants?
They're 5-5.
Wow. So they have 1 more win. Wow. So
I think the
Cowboys are what, terrible? So what does a 1 more win mean? Like if you're terrible, what's 1 more win? All right. So should the Cowboys sign Dak? Do you think Dak has actually been a band-aid, or do you think Dak has fixed a lot of these problems that they've had? Or do you think this team is just lousy and they'd still be in this position? Because I think if Dak was there, this team would be in the playoffs.
If I'm gonna go with a line logic, the Cowboys are terrible. They suck. Oh, who would want to be a Cowboys fan? That's me, actually being biased, but going on his logic. However, that's not me. The Cowboys, I think Dak has honestly helped them a lot more than they thought. And Zeke has kind of gotten exposed this year. And I mean, that's something to do with the offensive line, but he has not looked as good as he had. And I think I think you need both of them together. And I feel like this is proven. I think you got to get rid of Amari Cooper's contract. That's way too much. If you're able to get rid of that contract somehow, pay Dak. And, CeeDee Lamb looks really good still. I mean, right now he's looking good. So, build around that. Build around younger guys. But Amari Cooper's not the answer for him.
We did talk about this recently. I think the Cowboys made a mistake by signing Cooper. I think it was DeMarcus Lawrence, the name that I was trying to remember last time, that they overpaid. I think you overpaid Zeke. I know that's definitely a hot take there by saying that, because Zeke is one of the best players in that team. But I feel you're overpaying a running back. You're overpaying Lawrence, who wasn't even a top 2 or top 3 defensive end or defensive player. And then overpaying a wide receiver is always a mistake, especially one that's not that important to your team like that. So I think the Cowboys should just not sign Dak. I am not Team Dak. I don't think he's the answer. I think especially now the team that you don't have, that your team is bad, and then you're gonna put a quarterback that needs. If you had a great team and you had Dak, I would say go for it. But you have to start from scratch and just fix your team. I don't think Dak is going to fix anything. You're just going to overpay Dak and then hope for the best.
I don't know, man. It's tough.
Well, that's quarter number 4. But let's end 4 quarters with.
Wait, before we go, do you think it's Mike McCarthy, like Cheese just said? I feel like I don't want to blame him too much.
I don't
just
know,
because he dealt with so many injuries.
Your star quarterback got hurt. It's very unfair. Your star quarterback got hurt. Your O-line is hurt also. So I know Coach McCarthy might not be the answer, but it's also not fair to assume it's all his fault.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see Coach McCarthy with this record with Dak.
Jason Garrett didn't have this problem. Just couldn't.
That's true. That's true. But I will say Jason Garrett had many years to fix this team and implement a system. Didn't work. So now Coach McCarthy has all the shitty players that this guy was dealing with, and now he's trying to implement his system, and it's just not working out. But let's end it on a good note. We talked about this last week, but now it's the Vanderbilt kicker Sarah Fuller. Last week on our last podcast, she was one of the first female kickers, and she kicked off. This past weekend, Sarah Fuller becomes the first woman to score in a Power 5 college football game. So listen, I know I talked a lot of trash last week for it just being a regular little kick. And once again, Vanderbilt's still a losing season. They stink. They have nothing to play for.
They scored some touchdowns.
A beautiful story for them to get news and for them to get attention, but it doesn't take away that there's finally a woman in football who's doing some great things, so that other girls can see, hey, you can do this if you want to. So
yep,
that's a beautiful story in itself.
It's a stepping stone essentially, and it sucks that Vanderbilt's football game this upcoming weekend got canceled. So last weekend was her last college football game ever kicking. So it's a pretty big deal. So I mean, congrats to her from the Four Quarter Show, Melo on the line. That was huge. I can't even imagine trying to kick that, even though I would love to try it out one day, but that's some pressure. You got some big guys coming at you.
All right, so that's 4 quarters, everyone. But we're not done.
Oh, we're not? What's next?
Oh man, it's a tie game. It's crazy how it's always a tie game in our debate.
Man, I would think that there's like some illegal betting going off because...
You know what? I think what's going on is all of our viewers are eating Buffalo Wild Wings.
Man.
Buffalo Wild Wings, if you're listening, you're not a sponsor, but we'd love if you were a sponsor. But they must be, for all you guys who don't know, Buffalo Wild Wings, the commercial, get it, the joke. They used to do the change the game, sprinklers come out, whatever. It's a tie game, so we're moving on to OT. What are the topics today, Melo, for OT? I know it's your favorite portion.
When we get to OT. Oh, I mean, this is everyone's favorite portion, no? Yeah, there was some tampering there. I don't know how we ended up tied. Clearly, someone always wins. At least back there, it shows it. So the first thing that happened, and it was pretty big. It happened last week when we were just getting off the air, I believe. And it is all these announcements that were made by Disney. They made quite a big splash in the television movies department. And one of those, which a lot of people like, I'm a casual fan of, is Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Do you want to elaborate on that or no?
Star Wars. Yes, they have Disney Plus has a million new shows coming for Star Wars, just opening up the universe, expanding their billion-dollar industry, and hopefully they don't ruin more of the new trilogy that they can. Luckily, they're fixing it with The Mandalorian and Jon Favreau, who's definitely doing something great there. And they have so many new shows coming out.
It was announced that it was 10 brand new or Star Wars original shows. And I mean, I haven't even finished season 1 of The Mandalorian, so
I'm looking forward to the what's the director's name? Tiki something, the one who
the guy who did
Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
He's getting his own show. Obi-Wan is getting his own show.
So is Lando. They're doing a lot. And do you think that them doing so many might actually hurt the product, or will you think this is a way of...
No, Star Wars is too big of an industry where it's not going to hurt it.
Yes, but you also... Here's the thing with Star Wars, and I don't want to offend anyone out there.
Star Wars.
I feel like Star Wars fans, like true diehard Star Wars fans, don't ever see anything wrong with any of the Star Wars product. And it's like, oh no, but episode 1 through 3 was so great, and Rogue One was fantastic, and it's like it really wasn't.
Sounds like New York Giants fans.
It definitely.
It's pretty interesting how you brought that up. I think Star Wars fans. I think you're wrong. I believe Star Wars fans actually do trash Star Wars whenever it is trash. I just think you have different variations of Star Wars fans on what they like and what they don't like. And it's just, since there's so many of them, it looks like they all love everything. But I do feel there are Star Wars fans who hated this new trilogy. But there's some who love this one. And there's some that hated the last ones that George Lucas made. The last ones George Lucas made. Some of them hate. I think a lot of people hated them. But I feel the story was actually pretty good, that they weren't like totally thrown out. And of course the OG ones.
I mean, I think episode 3 is fantastic. I love episode 3.
Yeah, episode 3 was great, and it's one of my favorite storylines. I loved the whole Anakin storyline, which is one thing we're talking about is the Obi-Wan, and they're bringing back Hayden Christensen.
And Ewan McGregor, like Kenny just said.
Darth Vader.
Oh, boy. I mean,
Something threw me off about that, though, because they said there was gonna be a matchup between Ewan McGregor and against Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. I've seen Star Wars movies, and I don't think they're supposed to see each other until later. So I don't know how. I don't know. I guess they're just gonna make it up. Or say, nah, don't worry about this. They actually fought here, which they possibly would do, but I don't know how they're gonna do this.
So my question with this is, he's coming back as Darth Vader, not as Anakin.
Correct.
So, what are they gonna like adjust the voice box for us to hear him? Is he gonna take it off, and we're gonna see Hayden Christensen bald because he's all burned up? Like,
they'll probably adjust his voice. Yeah. And
to sound like Hayden Christensen.
I yes.
Because if there's any other, he's always wearing the suit. How are we gonna know it's him? Like,
I think that we're gonna see his face. I feel they're gonna fix it up. They're gonna be taking his face on and off. They might have. Well, I don't want to say throwbacks. Why
flashbacks?
Flashbacks. Jesus. They might have flashback scenes. But yeah, I think they're gonna use his voice and just change it up.
I just don't know how I would see that working, because you could have played Darth Vader, and we could have said it was Hayden Christensen. Like,
they're gonna take
Darth Vader is not it's a character that you don't need to see the person in the suit.
They're gonna take his mask off.
You know what it is. You know what it is. He hasn't done anything recently. I think his last movie was the last one with like T.I. and Chris Brown. That was really awful. So they're like, hey, Hayden, you doing anything? Nah, man, my career's over. You want to come back and play Darth Vader? Me?
I think this is his opportunity to save his Darth Vader legacy and see his acting chops. They're going to take his mask off, and I feel they're going to explore more of Darth Vader, which I feel would be amazing if you can continue the Darth Vader storyline from the Anakin, and maybe we can see his inner fighting with himself, and maybe his voice. You hear his voice as he's fighting with himself, and how Darth Vader is trying to be the overpowering thought instead of Anakin. I think that'll be cool, because I feel there's still some Anakin in him, where there's an internal battle, and I think that it took many years for the dark side to really get him, because you saw the pain. No spoilers. You saw the pain when somebody passed away, and Anakin was like, no. So
the one I'm most looking forward to is Lando.
You think they're gonna bring back
I think they're
Gambino, Childish Gambino?
Yeah, I think that's what the rumor is. Either that, or they'll bring back Donald Glover.
Or is Childish Gambino doing ATL still? Or is that Donald Glover doing ATL?
I think Donald Glover does ATL, and then
Atlanta. No, it's called Atlanta or ATL.
Atlanta, yeah. And then Childish Gambino is the one that does Lando. So I think, you can get any one
Lando
of those guys.
Lando did not get a fair shake in that Solo movie, because and when I say Solo, I mean the Han Solo movie, not he had a Solo movie. You get it. Han Solo movie.
And they could always bring back,
because the movie was terrible.
Darth Maul in the Lando series.
I wish they would have brought Darth Maul in this new trilogy. I think that's where they failed. Imagine if you would have brought Darth Maul, you would have had all the fans from the episodes 1 through 3, and then you brought Darth Maul into this new one where Darth Maul actually survived, and then he's making this whole new like Sith Lord. Dope.
But he's so old.
I'm so confused. They're the same dude.
Who's the same dude?
Annakin and Darth. Spoiler.
Oh, yeah.
Spoiler.
Darth Vader.
Spoiler.
Yeah. Come on, Kenny.
Yes.
Sorry, Kenny.
Yes. But when I think it's what you're talking about, Kenny, is what I was referring to with Anakin and Darth Vader. They're the same dude, but in the actual story, he has to forget that he's Anakin. Like he has to be like, I'm no longer Anakin. I am now Darth Vader.
I know exactly what he's talking about.
You should have corrected me.
I wanted to see how far you were going to go.
How did that go over your head? That's why we're joking, man. We're making a meme right now. Oh boy, we should bring on Kenny right now. Kenny, you want to get on right now? We'll talk about Childish Gambino. But bro, I loved the original episode 1, 2, and 3. And when I mean love, I completely hated episode 1. I thought it was pointless. I didn't know what the hell they were doing.
You didn't like Qui-Gon Jinn?
Episode 2. Oh, you know what? Episode 1 was amazing because of Darth Maul. When he got the best thing in that movie was Darth Maul, and he was just like later best part of the movie. And then episode 2 got really good halfway through. And then episode 3 was awesome.
I have yet to see episode 2, so I gotta go back and watch that
episode 2,
one.
I love that scene. Honestly, I think that for me, that's one of the best storylines is Anakin growing into Darth Vader. I love what they did.
I'm sorry. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, how would you? So, for anyone out there, if they wanted to rewatch it or watch it for the first time, how would you suggest watching the movies? How they
Great
came out?
question. There's 2 ways to watch them. You watch the George Lucas way, or you watch it chronologically, right? So the George Lucas way would be the years in which George Lucas dropped the movie. So the George Lucas way is where you start with episode 4. Episodes 4 through 6, then you watch episodes 1 through 3, and then you watch the new ones, which would be 7 to 9. That's the George Lucas way. It's the way he says to watch it. It definitely emphasizes some of the important moments, the surprises. Now, the way I saw it was the chronological way, which is the way I recommend. I had already seen it the George Lucas way, so watching it again many years later this way, I thought it was amazing. I think you see the development of Anakin and the story that even though the surprise is gone in the original trilogy, it's still exciting to watch because the movies are old and some people might dislike that it's less action, but at least now you know the storyline and what's going on when you watch these 3, and it's more exciting because you know why Luke is there and who Luke is, and you know Yoda and you see Obi-Wan and stuff like that. So it's actually dope. You see how Darth Vader became Darth Vader. So
Okay, interesting.
I did like that. I mean, my favorite part about the whole Star Wars series is Anakin. I'm always gonna say it. It's my favorite storyline. Hayden Christensen was trash, complete trash acting. Not all his fault, but trash acting.
How is it not his fault?
I feel the direction and some of the lines they gave him were just I don't feel they may have not explained to him what to do, and the lines were just kind of like here one-liners, and it just didn't really add to him. And you could have told the story a little better. But man, when you think about it, wow, what a beautiful character, beautiful storyline that Anakin thing was.
No, you're absolutely right. I think it went through. He had the most like trials and tribulation that happened to him. So
I mean, I have a bunch of theories. We can turn this into a Star Wars OT. I honestly feel if Qui-Gon does not die, then we never see Darth Vader.
So you think he would have kept Anakin alive?
If Qui-Gon lives, there's never a Darth Vader. It's Anakin, and he becomes one of the best Jedis of all time. I believe that because I think Anakin, all he wanted was someone to believe in him, and he always needed a father figure. And the way I see it is, Anakin, Qui-Gon was the first person to go, "Hey, you are amazing. You're amazing, and you're gonna be amazing, and I believe in you." And that was the first time somebody believed in him. And then when you would see Anakin with the Jedi Council, they will all tell him, "Well, you ain't shit. You're gonna actually no, you're not it." And then even Obi-Wan was not sure about him. Obi-Wan was like, "Oh, I guess I'll take care of you." And when Obi-Wan and Anakin finally got into that fight at the end, and Obi-Wan said, "Oh, you're like a brother to me." And if you kind of hear that, it's beautiful. But in Anakin's ears, Anakin's always just wanted a father. He needed a father figure. He needed someone to help him, to guide him, and he never had that. Qui-Gon would have been that for him because he always believed in him, and he always had people who didn't believe in him. And guess who finally believed in him?
Samuel Jackson.
No, he didn't believe in him either. He always thought he didn't believe him until he told him to be a snitch. Samuel Jackson was like, hey, Anakin, be a snitch, bro.
Oh man, do you think that?
No, you didn't answer my question. Who finally believed in him?
Palpatine? I'm not wrong.
Yeah, it was Palpatine. He's the one who finally believed in him. You know, he's the one who finally believed in him. Darth Sidious, he finally believed in him at the end, and he was just like, "You're gonna do great things. Come to the dark side. You're gonna be amazing." And then boom, what happened? He finally had someone to believe in him, and he goes, "All right, I guess I should be in the dark side." Word.
Do you think maybe I was gonna say Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan might have been a little bit, jealous and resentful
Yeah.
And Qui-Gon was so like,
Yeah, it was
hey,
like
there's this kid, he's the one. It's like, wait, what?
It was a brother thing. It was a brother thing. He saw him as a brother. I don't know if he resented him, but he definitely got tired of. You even see it in the movie. He was always like, Anakin was like, I saved your butt again. I'm always saving your butt. And they have jokes where he's like, oh, not that last time. Obi-Wan's like, not that last time. It was only 10 times, not 11 times. So for sure, he always had that like, man, he's better than me. I know he's better than me. So when you have that mentality and you're the one trying to train him, you're not seeing it as you're proud of him. You're seeing it as, oh, he's always saving my butt, instead of being proud of him. So
Damn, so maybe there's maybe an alternative universe where if Qui-Gon Jinn doesn't die, Anakin stays good, and maybe Obi-Wan turns to the dark side. Think about it. If he was so jealous of Anakin, and if Anakin's getting all support from Qui-Gon Jinn, there's a chance that maybe Palpatine goes, hey, Obi, I got you over here.
I know, but I guess the thing is that the only thing Obi-Wan has is jealousy? Because the thing is, to go to the dark side, you need hate, anger, and all these different things.
It could have turned into that. They could build a story on that.
No, you can. I'm just elaborating on your thing, because I feel to be the dark side, you need more, and I feel that's why Luke never went to the dark side, because he didn't suffer the way his dad did. Spoiler alert: he didn't suffer the way Anakin did. He didn't suffer, where Anakin had no parents, where Anakin had nothing.
Anakin was a Jedi, and he had resentment. And so did, what's his guy's name? From the new ones, Kylo Ren.
I don't think nobody's talking about those.
Kylo Ren went to the dark side too, and
the new three. You know what happened with the new three? The new three were a disaster, because every time you would have a new director, you didn't have a complete storyline. And it happens the same thing in TV shows. In TV shows, if you just come out with a good show and you don't have a clear ending, you just keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. That's to the point where a series just becomes bad. But if you know from the get, you go, okay, this is what we're gonna do. This is where it ends. This is our story. That's where you can come up with a great story. And Star Wars didn't have that. Every episode, 7, 8, and 9 were different. Didn't know what they were doing. Every time it gets turned around, I thought it was to its detriment instead of it working out. So when the next 3 that come out, which will probably be soon, because they're gonna just keep monetizing and making money, get one director, have him make all 3, or have 3 directors but have a clear plan. Tell them, hey, this is the storyline. This is what we need.
Could be. Who knows? They might just stick with the shows and not do any movies anymore.
Probably. I hope that they go 10 years without making movies. I really hope that. 10, 15 years without making Star Wars movies. I think one of the beautiful things about Star Wars that brings generations together is that the first ones that came out were the 80s, 79, and 80s. And then the next ones came out early 2000s. And then these came out now. I think that's beautiful. I think that adds to, the lore. And you have grandparents. You have 3 generations of families, 3. So I think it's dope.
So,
did you guys like the Star Wars? Because we do Star Wars talk. If you guys like this, I like Star Wars too much.
Well, one other thing that was announced was Marvel also announced its upcoming, would be Phase 4 and 5, and we got quite a couple of interesting movies and dates released. So we got a date for Black Widow finally after a whole year, May 7th, 2021.
Poor Black Widow. She's the best female character, and they're just.
What sucks? You're absolutely right. She was, and I hate that they killed her because I have.
Spoiler alert.
Sorry, everyone out there.
It's funny that we say spoilers and then we say spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Spoiler alert. She dies, and then they make this movie, and I'm not as invested as I would in another movie.
Absolutely.
Because it's something that was obviously happens before, and I don't know. Then I'm just gonna go. There's a bunch here, but I'm just gonna go through the main ones. We have the Spider-Man 3 with this amazing cast, December 17, 2021. So it will be at the end of next year. We have Doctor Strange, March 25th.
What's it called? Does it say the name? I love the name.
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
That's dope as fuck. I hear rumor it might be rated R.
Man, that'd be
it might
great.
be a scary movie.
Well, that's what they were trying to portray it as, like a horror one.
They want to make a scary movie.
Thor: Love and Thunder, May 6, 2022, and it's supposed to have the Guardians of the Galaxy in it.
And Natalie Portman as the new Thor.
Natalie Portman. Why is she in both of these topics? I don't think she's a good actress. But that's something else. We have Black Panther 2, July 8th, 2022. That's going to be a big one to see who they finally
I
get.
really don't want them to give it to the sister, man.
Really?
I really want to get to the
You
sister.
don't think
What's her
she
name?
could cut?
Suri in the story?
Suri, yes.
I think Suri should be her own badass character, and I feel they should give it to Michael B. Jordan or somebody else. You know, make it.
You can give Michael B. Jordan any role.
I feel it should be different. Plus, the way you become Black Panther is you have to do the whole fight, and nobody's been talking about that. Everyone just keeps saying, "Oh, give it to Siri," but you got to take the powers away from the person.
Why can't she do it?
Okay, but here's the thing: she can't use her technology. She can't.
You can? I was going to say she can use all that.
No, they take everything away from you. They take everything away from you, and they just give you like this. Don't you think people would have armor to be the Black Panther? No, they take everything away from you, and it's just you wearing this, and that's just not realistic. What's that guy's name? The big one, the one who's huge.
No, I forgot his name. I know what you're talking
You
about.
can't put your father like that guy is huge, and I'm supposed to. He is gonna go up there, want to fight, and I'm supposed to believe that Siri's gonna go there and whoop him. Even if he says no, I respect you and I want Siri to be the queen.
Could Black Widow go up there and whoop him?
Who?
That guy? See?
I don't know. But even then, I don't think so. I don't know. You're in a little pond next to a waterfall. Even if she does go do some crazy kicks, he'll just bear hug her, grab her, and then throw her. Like, I'm not trying to sound. I don't want to see something unrealistic. I just want to know how. And I don't get paid millions of dollars to do this, but I want to know how they're going to do that. Will she be a cool Black Panther? Maybe, sure. I don't know if I'm invested to see her as Black Panther. I think there's plenty of other people who can be Black Panther, but.
Michael B. Jordan.
I mean, I know it's not a popular thought, but you can also recast him. Disney said they're not going to, but
That's gonna be a tough recasting. It's just like trying to recast Robert Downey
but
Jr.
I disagree
Why?
because Robert Downey Jr. when he was Iron Man, he was Iron Man, and he started all of this. Black Panther, Chad Boswick, R.I.P. Amazing, like great actor, but as Black Panther, I don't see him as like, oh, he's Black Panther. He is a badass Black Panther, but I don't remember thinking like, oh man, he is Black Panther. Nah, I remember thinking, oh, he's a badass Black Panther. The movie's badass, but I don't remember him being this great like Robert Downey Jr. is, and that's rare. Like
Maybe it's because
it's rare. It's hard to find that. There's not many characters who can do it.
But I think it's maybe because his tenure as Black Panther was throughout a couple movies, but they were like back to back to back to back.
I almost cramped.
It wasn't
Lamar Jackson for real. And I'm sorry.
It wasn't Robert Downey Jr. that spanned it over a decade. So all right. Well, next up we have the first billion dollar hit that Marvel Studios had was. So they're gonna make another one. Captain Marvel 2, November 11th, 2022.
That's misinformation. That wasn't their first $1 billion hit.
It was?
It was not their first.
Given that was Marvel Studios' first $1 billion hit in 2019.
Whose?
Marvel Studios.
Their first hit in 2019, but it wasn't their first $1 billion movie.
Are you sure?
That's missing. Yeah, it was not their first $1 billion movie.
I don't know. Maybe Captain Marvel came out after. Yeah, you're right. Think about it. Black Panther, no? Either way, I'm not excited about Captain Marvel 2. I wasn't. The first one was.
Avengers Infinity War was $1 billion 2018.
Infinity War. Oh, that's right.
Avengers Age of Ultron was $1 billion. Black Panther 18 billion. Iron Man 3 hit $1 billion. I mean, that was not their first $1 billion movie.
I don't know. I'm reading a website's information. And either way, that takes away from the fact that I don't think
Captain realize the strategy on Captain Marvel? That movie's terrible. I don't like Captain Marvel. And that movie's terrible. The only reason why that movie got $1 billion was because they dropped it right before their biggest flipping movie that they have. So people were like, I have to watch this movie so I can know because they're so smart. It was genius strategy. Let's drop this movie right here, right before we drop one of the biggest movies. And if people
And you really
watch
didn't
it,
have to watch it. You didn't
I
have
still,
to watch it.
yeah, I didn't watch it. I was rewatching all of them. I skipped it. It's not important. I'm not gonna watch this
It
movie.
was not a good movie.
Not a good movie. It has nothing to do with it being a female movie. And that's the thing, a misconception that a lot of people have, that they think we're trashing it because it's a female star, when I cannot wait to see Black Widow.
Well, honestly, my biggest thing is that it's not even like with the content of the movie. It is Brie Larson. I don't think Brie Larson is great in that role.
Oh, the movie, no, the movie sucked. But go ahead.
But I'm saying she didn't help it. Her acting was atrocious. If her acting, put it like this, I'll give you a perfect example. I love the new Spider-Man movies. I don't love Zendaya. I don't think she's a good actor. Her character leaves me so blah when I watch her.
That's her acting.
Yeah, there's no emotion, and that's how I feel about Brie Larson. You know, she should stick to, her serious roles where, she doesn't have to put too much effort in her acting. I don't think she's good. I'm sorry. That might be an unpopular opinion, but I didn't think it helped her. Moving on, we got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
That's going to be fun.
Sometime in 2023.
2 was okay.
2 wasn't bad. It just didn't go with the story.
I feel Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was a filler movie. If I can call it something, it was a filler movie.
It was honestly, maybe they might go back to it because it was to introduce, Ego and all this other nonsense that they have. But yeah, it could have gone anywhere else. Next up, and we don't have a date for this one yet either. It's Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantum Mania. So we're gonna have like Ant-Man ripping his shirt off. No Hulk Hogan.
No.
Whatever. Well, Quantum Mania, Ant-Man and the Wasp. So, but the biggest one, and let me make sure, was announced. It's gonna be the third time they do this. They reboot this series, and that is none other than Fantastic Four.
You just skipped Winter Soldier, didn't you?
Well, no, I just went through the movies. I didn't go through the TV shows.
Fantastic Four, a lot of people are tired of it. They don't want to see it. But, guys, remember, now it's Marvel taking care of this. Mm-hmm. So, hopefully we get John Krasinski and his lovely wife. I hate that I forgot her name.
Emily Blunt.
That'll be cool if he can be Mr. Fantastic. And
another movie with both of them, though? Like, come on.
So, they're great. They're awesome. That'll be dope if he can
I
be
like
Mr.
him
Fantastic.
as Mr. Fantastic. Invisible Woman, we can talk about maybe someone else. She could be in the running. I'm not saying she can't be. But to be like, oh, I think that role is perfect for her, I'm okay.
Fantastic Four reminds me of another great movie called The Brotherhood. Yeah, if it's okay. Z. Shout out to Z, man. I am excited for Marvel movies because they haven't let me down. I'm just nervous to see how they take it. And if there's anything that we know about Marvel, they take their time, and hopefully they continue doing that. Take your time and try to make another good story. So
hopefully, you said yeah, exactly that. They take their time. They don't rush it like DC. And we'll see what they do with that. We got the exciting Wonder Woman in a week, I think, right? We're gonna watch.
You guys
that.
want us to review that? What do you think?
No, we're gonna do that. We're gonna talk about it. We gotta watch Wonder Woman, and we gotta
the projector. We'll get the seats.
We gotta talk about how great of a movie it's gonna be.
I did not like part 1, guys. It was a good movie. It was definitely better than Captain Marvel. I just thought the movie had a couple kind of weird. It's just we'll talk about it another time.
A lot of plot holes. Just saying.
But yeah, exciting about Marvel. Disney's just coming up with a bunch of different things, man. Honestly, and it's gonna be interesting with 2021 what happens. Since we can't go to the movies, which are going to be missed. I do love going to the movies. I think, and this is you're going to hear it here. You're going to hear it here first. I think this is the death of movie theaters.
I forgot about that one. Into the Spider-Verse 2. Movie
theaters, the way that they're set up now, where you just watch a bunch of different movies there. I think we're going to see, like company-owned movie movie distributors as Warner Brothers. We're gonna go to the Warner Brothers cinema.
Oh, you don't think it's gonna be AMC or
No,
Cobb?
I think we're gonna
It's gonna
go.
be like Paramount Pictures.
We're gonna go
theater.
to Disney Studios cinema. I feel that's how it's gonna be in the long run now. You know, and that's how.
But you know how I said this at the beginning of the pandemic. If they want to come back, they can come back, but they have to stop thinking in the way that they were thinking now. They have to kind of take a step back, see what worked for them at the start.
You're talking about movie theaters?
Yes, and that is pause. Drive-in movie theaters.
Okay.
Come on now. If I don't have to go sit with the whole
Never
thing.
gonna pick up, dude.
But why wouldn't?
Because people don't want to do that.
People do it. Perfect example. The Dolphins during the pandemic before the season started.
People love football.
No, but they weren't showing football games. They're showing old movies like Back to the Future.
You mean during a pandemic when nothing was open, nothing else to do?
Yeah.
Think about it. There was nothing else to do.
But think about it.
I couldn't go to a bar and drink.
You're absolutely right. But think about it. If you want to go watch I'm not saying let's go watch. I mean, I'll watch Back to the Future any day. But I'm not saying let's go watch Back to the Future again. I'm saying you put your new movies out as in drive-ins. Miami Park. It looks like the fair is over. Take all of that off. You can
But
easily put
imagine if it's still streaming. Okay, it's gonna. This is not gonna change. I think it's gonna be now. You stream it at your house. Would you go into your car and watch a movie, or will you just stream it from your home on your beautiful TV?
If I could stream it, I'll do that. But
Exactly.
But not all the movies are going to give you that. That's for now.
I'm telling you, that's the future. This year is in a show. If people make money, it's gonna happen.
That's what the key thing is going to be. If they make money, and what Warner Brothers is doing now, they're not going to make a lot of money off of that.
People don't want to leave their homes for a movie. Here's the thing: you do the car thing
During a pandemic, I feel like, but I miss the movie theaters.
Yes, the movie. Okay, but here's the thing: you want to get dressed up to go to a movie, get not nice, but you want to go. It's like a date night. You want to get dressed, buy the popcorn, all these things, play the part. But if you're telling me I'm just gonna put on whatever to get into a car and watch the movies, I'll just be like, let's stay home. Let's just stay home.
But if you can't do that at home, why would you stay home?
What do you mean I can't do that at home?
If like, what I'm saying is, okay, let's say after all the streaming thing goes out, and then okay, we didn't make as big of a profit as we wanted to. How do we come back to the movie theaters when people still might not feel like it's safe or
Bro,
it's
a year
dirty?
from now it's gonna be safe. A year from now, the vaccine. Think about
Yes, but
think
what-
about how life is. There's always been pandemic. There's always been like a certain.
Yes,
that
but
goes
what
away.
you're not thinking about is how I'm going to say it right now. I'm very different, Jeremy wise, than I was back before this started. I'm sorry. Growing up, we all knew about the 5-second rule. That shit's gone for me now. If I drop something on the floor, I don't care if it's my house. I'm
Yes, but
throwing
you're
it away.
still gonna go out. We're gonna go out, bro. Like it's different. You're talking about little things. We're gonna wash our hands more. We're gonna be more conscious. We're not gonna eat from the floor anymore. But we want to go out. We're humans. We're gonna go out. I mean, it's not gonna change.
Okay, but
We're more cautious at the gym.
But think about it. Some people might be like, "Oh man, like let's be real. Unless the movie theaters do something drastic, they don't clean those movie theater seats as well as they should, or the floors.
Because they're gonna lower.
If I can just think about I can be in my car. I'm gonna feel comfortable. Put the seat back. I'm watching a movie.
You're gonna stay home. I'm telling you, you're gonna stay home and watch the
I wouldn't
movie
stay
because
home.
that's the best thing to do. Instead of.
If
You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna make the theater smaller. They're gonna have a big cinema. They're gonna have the chairs like they have been doing now. And the people who really want to go are gonna pay for that premium price, and they're gonna go. There's people out there who love the movies that would pay $20 per ticket. They don't care. All right, so moving on.
It's no longer the 5 second. It's 3 second rule now. Hialeah, stand up.
Last topic, as we are running a little late. Cyberpunk 2077 is a new video game that's dropped for the new consoles. This was supposed to be like the new big video game, sort of GTA meets The Witcher, open world game with missions and all this cool stuff in the next gen consoles, and it's been a disaster.
Oh, a disaster is the least. Well, I haven't heard really too much complaints from the new gen consoles. It's been the PS4 and the Xbox One that I've heard the most complaints about, and the creators of Cyberpunk 2077, went out to say, okay, we're sorry about this for anyone with the PS4 or Xbox One that they're not happy. They can get a refund, right? But they haven't. Xbox has apparently been okay with the refunds because what they're doing is they said yes, but whatever console you have to go through their refund policy. So Xbox is very, very, if there's something like out of their control, they'll go ahead and give you a refund. PlayStation, however, has not been very cordial with that, and they have not been releasing the refunds. So now these guys are like in a bigger mess because of it, and man, that's rough for this game that had so much hype. I was excited. I was a little bit excited, and I'm not normally too excited for games like this. And I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna get this.
I'm not getting any new game until I get the next console.
Okay, so now I
skipped Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which I really wanted to get because I'm big on Vikings. Didn't want to get it. Didn't want to use the money on a older gen game.
You should have told me this sooner, bro. I would have not now have to change your Christmas gift.
I mean, if you got it for me, I love it. I'm not gonna pay for it. But if you got me the game, I'll gladly play it. That's different. I don't want to pay for an older gen model when I really want the new system. So I hope Cyberpunk, they fix the issues. Luckily, in this new generation, we have where we can just send an update and fix the goddamn issue. It's as easy as that.
You know what their response to it was? The game errors on consoles look more like 97 versus 2077. Their response to it was...
Kenny goes, I have never seen such terrible bugs in games before.
See? Their response to it on Twitter was that they're going to have patches. They did a 2K. We have a couple more patches coming in to, fix the problem.
A couple? A couple? Man, you better...
change the whole game. Advance to 2078.
No. I mean, I know... That's the thing. Is they're a good company, so it's a shame that this is happening. They said they're not going to do the whole loot box thing, that they're going to have downloadable content and DLCs coming out soon that they're not going to charge for. So that these are bright things for gamers, because as gamers we're already getting screwed over and they're just taking our money. So I hope that Cyberpunk fixes these issues, to show other companies that we care. So if Cyberpunk fixes the issues, they don't have loot boxes and they give us free downloadable content and DLCs, then buy this game, please. Show companies, because it's just ridiculous how all these companies are just screwing us over at this point.
That was for you, Madden, EA.
I don't remember when was the last time I bought a Madden. I used to love Madden. Haven't bought a Madden in years, and I think I might give up 2K. I know I think one of these. I think that's it, man. 2K is just taking advantage. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. You literally have cars flying through walls and crashing while you're in a cutscene. That is embarrassing.
That sounds almost as bad as WWE 2K.
And that one was bad, dude.
20. Oh man.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening and tuning into our podcast. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the number 4 Quarter Show. We will be posting the ingredients for our Quattro Coquito with Nutella that I made for the halftime champion Melo. Damn, I'm cramping again.
Also, brand new this week, we're going to come out with a schedule of episodes. So you want to make sure that you are subscribed to our YouTube channel, because we're coming out, obviously, our show today on Tuesday.
Ring that bell. Click on that bell. Like and subscribe.
What do we got on Wednesday, Alain?
Wednesday.
Just in case you missed the show.
Tomorrow, you missed the show. You just, watch it on YouTube. You can also listen to it on Spotify and iTunes, or Apple Podcasts, I should say. The video is going to be up, so you can watch it on YouTube. But we also will be dropping, is it tomorrow?
For which one?
Because we will be dropping preview videos and clips like we did last week. So that you guys can show your friends and show people, some of the best arguments that you liked. So we can, hopefully get more people watching. But we are starting a new series.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
And that is none other. It's called Spare Change.
Spare Change. Spare Change, we're going to, we're both going to give you some more information, a little change, a little penny for your thoughts. so we can give you something to think about to the next episode. Should be exciting. Maybe we talk about controversial stuff. Maybe we talk about things that we didn't debate that one of us is really passionate about. I don't think we're going to be debating on that. It's not going to be a very long video. We're both each going to give our input on something that we have passion for. So you can watch that, tune in. And also we will be doing a separate video where we have OT in its own video also. So we will have OT in this video tomorrow when you watch it. But if you liked what you saw in OT and you just kind of want to send OT to somebody else, or you have friends that aren't really into sports that just want to hear about what we talked about, then hey, OT will have its own separate video also.
Exactly.
You can share it and show it to people, and where we talked about Star Wars today and Marvel and things like that, and other people can tune in and watch also. So
exactly. So tune in the whole week. We're gonna have stuff coming out pretty much every single day. So stay tuned. Like I said, subscribe, like it, share it with everyone. We're here for you guys.
All right. So with that being said, it's my co-host Melo, the halftime champion. I'm Align. Thank you for being a part of the change.
Yes, and as always, we hope you left with a little bit of more common sense.